So Islam Makhachev once again makes a direct response to what Ilia Topuria has been talking about him, or has been saying about him. There's nothing really new. I think Islam also said some shit before about Ilia because Ilia was saying a lot about Dagestan, about certain Dagestani fighters, stuff like that. Once again following in the footsteps of Conor McGregor. But yeah, Islam has made another statement about it, and it acknowledges Ilia. Talks about, obviously a potential fight with Ilia. Talking about, Islam talked about how Ilia's talking about him not stop, and how they'll fight. It kind of, what Islam said did kind of, uh, it kind of leads you to think that Islam's talking more about a street fight, but it's still about a fight in general because these two are UFC fighters in different divisions, but still a fight between the two is absolutely 1000% possible. And I even believe it should have been the next fight up for Ilia, even though I do believe Ilia will most likely be fighting Volk next because Volk is forcing the rematch. And the UFC will obviously have to oblige because of how much they owe Volk for stepping in all those short notice times. Uh, so yeah, I mean, I wholeheartedly believe that uh, Ilia should be fighting Islam Makhachev next. I think any featherweight right now has no business with fighting Ilia. As good as some of them are, and as good as some of them are definitely getting, like Diego Lopez, Ilia did something that would have been thought to be quite impossible, knocking out Alexander Volkanovski and then moving forward to knock out Max Holloway, who's never been knocked out. He did that. Ilia Topuria did that. On top of it, he's doing the work outside of the octagon. He's meeting the press, he's making movies, he's meeting the fans, he's building a fan base, he's got a whole fucking country behind him. He is Conor McGregor 2.0. He's the Spanish Conor McGregor, and he's proving it every single fucking day. And that is why I do believe that even though Ilia's only got one title defense so far, he deserves to move up and fight Islam. He absolutely does. I mean, I get a lot of fighters have to earn their right, but I think Ilia's more than earned it just by the build-up alone. But I do also just want to revisit my thoughts about a fight between Ilia and Islam. It would be absolutely fucking insane. Fireworks, edge of your seat moments till the end of the fight, whether that be a fight stoppage or a decision. Like I said, Ilia is a fucking dangerous fighter for anybody, for anybody, because that fucking power is something that raises questions when considering any fucking fighter. So Ilia is so fucking dangerous, and to add to that Ngannou-like power, you got to consider his technique, and his boxing technique is incredible, and truly next to the greats of boxing and MMA. And when you put that all together, especially his grappling too, because he started out as a fucking grappler, so when you consider his excellent ground game on top of it, he's just the complete fighter with power, enormous power. So he's basically unstoppable. But even though all this shit makes him look like a superhuman, there are still everybody's got something. Everybody's got to have one thing that somebody can go to and most likely be able to use as that fighter's weakness. They've all got it, John Jones too. But yeah, for Ilia, I would say that it's going to be a rangy kicker. It's going to have to be a rangy kicker. Because as great as Ilia is and as powerful as Ilia is 5'7", okay? And he's already talking about going to welterweight, you know? So you got to also consider the fact that Ilia is 5'7", okay? He's a killer. Yes, he's powerful. Yes, his technique is great. Yeah. But a tall, rangy kicker, I think a tall, rangy kicker has Ilia's number. Especially moving outside from an exchange when Ilia's hands aren't raised that high to defend the top of his head. Somebody tall enough and good enough with kicking could send their shin and just hit that open mark right off the fucking top of Ilia's dome, and do to Ilia what Islam did to Volk, you know, in their second fight. So I think it's possible. And I think if anybody could do that, it's going to be Islam, who's getting sharper with his technique every day, especially with them kicks. And he just proved that he could fucking do what I just said is needed. Because Islam did that against Volk in their second fight, as I just said. So I think if Islam is going to fight Ilia, and I hope it does happen, I think Islam beats Ilia the same way he beat Volk in the second fight. I think it's just that easy when it comes to fighting a shorter fighter, especially a fighter that's shorter by that much. And it's not really that much because Islam's like 5'10" and Ilia's 5'7", so it's only a 3-inch difference. But 3 inches can mean a whole hell of a lot in MMA, you know? So you really got to consider that, and that's what I'm really looking at and focusing on when I think about a fight like this. And I'll end the video with this point. And it's a frustrating point. It's a point that's kind of been on my mind for a long time, and I made a video about it, and I'm glad it got a little bit of traction. It's about Yair Rodriguez, because Yair had his moment to challenge Ilia. You know, it was, of course, before he fought Brian Ortega. He already had beef with Ilia. I don't know what it was about specifically, but Yair hates Ilia. And he was calling Ilia out before he fought Ortega, and it was a shame what happened when Yair fought Ortega, because Yair, as we all know, especially by now, Yair Rodriguez has zero grappling. He just got fucking manhandled and submitted. And I think it just would have been stellar to see Yair Rodriguez fight Ilia, because I really do feel like Yair Rodriguez was the key to fighting Ilia. You know, at least in the featherweight division, he was the key to beating Ilia in the featherweight division. I think if Yair beat Ortega and actually got a title shot against Ilia, I would have put my money on Yair. I really would have, because yes, Ilia's got the grappling, but he's got to get close to Yair to grapple him. And Yair can manage distance. He can control distance. His hands are good too, and he could find a space for a kick. He can absolutely find some sort of opening for a devastating kick to send Ilia right to the fucking canvas. If anybody could have done it, it would have been Yair. But in a different weight class, it's Islam. So yes, I think Islam is going to do to Ilia what he did to Volk in the second fight. Let me know what you think, though. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. But most importantly, subscribe. I love you guys, and I'll see you all in the next.